3, 2, 1.
I really love all the like you said earlier, you're getting deep into the AI, and your comedic side as well definitely shines through in some of that. Like
I love that shit.
I love all those things. Like
Oh shit, that's fun to hear.
when-
Because I only post like 1 out of 100 that I make. I make every day. I'm making so many goofy posts for, well, not posts, but like videos for friends, like, or just even my gal Drew. Like, oh wait, I was looking for my phone, but it's the camera. Like, I made one today because I was trying to, like, I'm DIY everything. Like, I refuse to hire anyone for anything because I'm broke. And I figured out how to finally take an old I needed to power like a video doorbell, and there was like all these issues and blah blah. I found this like old adapter from like a Bell phone from like the 80s, and it was like AC to AC. It was the right voltage. So I'm like cut the wire and I like spliced it together. I'm like, yes, I powered my new TP-Link doorbell, and I was just doing it in the kitchen, and I was like trying to figure out like the fisheye and stuff so I would know where to place it. And then I'm backing up, and the dishwasher was down. I was the only one in the house, and it was like filled with dirty dishes, and I fully bailed backwards. And there was like, it's like you can like hear like all this like glass breaking. Like, it was a brutal bail. And it was like the second I just finally had figured out, after so like days of trying to figure out how to power this doorbell because blah blah blah. Anyway, I sent it to her, but then I have to like put it into CapCut and like tweak the audio levels, and like I threw in like a little corporate like TP-Link home security systems like right after I bail. And like I have just different like video chat things on like WhatsApp and Messenger and stuff, where I'm like every day I will send some sort of like goofy video that I put together in like CapCut or something. And so when I do post them on Instagram, I'm always like, like I know it's AI slop, and like I know AI sucks. It's like ruining the world, and it's ruining music, it's ruining art, it's ruining photos and videos. And it's like, but like I'm also a guy that was making videos from the first second my parents bought a home DV camera, like when I was 12. And every day I would like recruit people from my junior high, my high school, and even my university. I was like, come over, we're gonna make a video. And I was like splicing VCR to VCR, and like going to like A&B Sound to buy like soundtracks, like famous soundtracks, so I could put like the ET theme or the Bonanza theme like over a video. And I was like doing like man on the street interviews and stuff. And this is from like 12 to 20 kind of thing. And then I went on tour, and I was like band guy, and I was like, I had to act cool, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm like, it's not cool to like be a total goof incel, basically.
No, yeah, that I used to love that too. Like my parents had a camcorder pretty much my entire life, but then once we got our new like Sony Handycam, like that just totally changed the game.
Yeah,
I wasn't
I
wasn't into the VCR to VCR because we only had one, and like it was impossible to do. So you tried to literally your videos had to be on. So when you stopped, the next record had to be exactly what you wanted to do or whatever. And we never had music. Yes. We would just play the stereo kind of in the background and stuff like that. But no,
I'm lying when I say VCR to VCR. I meant, so you've got like on your Sony, because I also had a Sony, and it's like you have your left audio, your right audio, and your yellow video.
Yeah.
Gorgeous 480p.
Oh yeah.
And and then but I would go, what was I doing? It was like I realized, oh, if you're okay with the the camera audio only being on the left side, you can then add music on the right side. So I would go like, you know, whatever audio source you have, like that would go on the right side and stuff.
That's awesome.
That's fine. I didn't know that.
I tried to do the CapCut thing, and I have made a few videos, but like yours are just so like
I find
more
freaking
advanced. Like they're so
hilarious,
good.
man. Most of them are so hilarious.
I just use like the filter, the templates that just already are. You know what I mean? And you can just put in like click like 5 or 6 clips. And
the
then,
templates are really fun though. Actually,
Yeah.
they're super good. That's really sweet though. Like that actually encourages me to. I should just post.
I love it.
do it, even if you just had it on a separate.
I don't want to be
Instagram.
known as like such like an insane goof, because actually 90% of the time I am working on like cool music, but I can't post stuff in progress, and I spend a long time on it every song I use.
Right. You need to make a third Instagram account where all you have your AI
Just do your clips.
mumble jumble.
But to me, like my opinion is
Thanks,
like
Ryan.
what I like about it is like it's like a parody of AI almost. Like that's what I like about it. Like I don't know if that's the intention in any fashion, but there's something about it that makes me laugh.
Many things. You should follow me on Sora too, actually, because
I
do. I've actually made
fun,
my
man.
Cameo public. Nobody's used it yet. But like on Sora too, like you can like post your Cameo, which means anyone can go at Steve Bays and like make a stupid video of me like doing whatever.
Oh, crazy!
They want,
Because
That's sick.
that's a whole other thing. The Sora 2 thing. Like recently, I've seen like in my Instagram feed a whole lot of these different videos, whether it be like Michael or Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross in a wrestling match at WrestleMania, and you're just like, what the hell?
And
is
they're
going on?
frigging awesome.
So good,
dude. I have so many Mr. Rogers videos that I've made. Talking about because to me I wanted him to talk about really obscure things. So like I've got him talking about like obscure plugins that like only a small number of people would understand, and like I think I posted a couple where he's like talking about how it's impossible to use auto-tune live, like it's such a pain.
I gotta find that.
Like,
I gotta find that.
I just love
That's
taking
fucking hilarious.
like last night I think I posted Snoop Dogg. So there's okay, so this is something that I'm probably a day away from posting, but so this one guy, he did this video on, it was, I think I did a screen recording of it. It was on like Instagram or Facebook, and he was saying how like modern companies be like, and it's like he was describing like we have a new product and it costs you more and it's like worse quality, blah blah blah. And then I put it into CapCut, and I've like flipped him visually. I put devil horns on him, and I made him, so I didn't change his voice, so it's like it sounds like a Jersey like car salesman. And then I added like all these and then I was like, oh, it'd be sweet if I had footage of, so it's like a politician like addressing healthcare and saying like it's more expensive and it's worse, but like it's the best. And so then I got all this, like I made all this AI footage of like a fighter jet flying through the sky, and it was like red, white, and blue, but it was all bedazzled with sequins and gold and diamonds. And it said on the tail of it, it says Dr. Dementia. And he's dropping syringes and wheelchairs and crutches to all these people that are like starving and all like disheveled with like and injured and stuff, and they're all wearing MAGA hats, and they're like their arms are in the air, and they're just like they're like yes, and then the wheelchairs like land on the ground and like fully like crash and break, and but they're still just like yes. I don't know if this is going to translate to this podcast, but I just like I will get an idea of something like that, and we have a tattoo studio upstairs because that's my gal's job, and so she was giving me a tat on my calf, and so I actually had time to kill, so I was like just using Sora to make this ridiculous remix of this guy's hilarious video, and I wasn't sure if I was going to post it. I just really wanted to send it to him and be like, I love your video. Here's my remix of it.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that's sort of, yeah. And I put it in CapCut. I mess with it. I change the audio. I use like the audio voice changer stuff a lot, and the audio voice isolation, pitch shifting, and in there, like CapCut is on such a crazy new level.
I feel like this might be a new breakthrough for the podcast. I feel like we could take some of these videos and turn them into like little promotional videos for our podcast. I think that'd be such a cool idea.
Oh,
I'm not as
100%.
technically advanced as you are in the AI video game.
Well, let me know. Let me know what you want to do. I find that prompt engineering is it is an art. And I know, like, I don't like talking about it publicly because I'm also, someone that's invested so much into my craft. So it's like I feel like I'm betraying my people by even looking into it. But like I said, I've been like making like goofy videos since I was like a little kid, and I have like hours and hours of just unreleased goofy stuff that it's sort of been my like my antidepressant in addition to actual antidepressants. And
you gotta have two things.
Yeah, you gotta have balance.
Yeah, you got a couple things,
But anyway, yeah, speaking of ADHD, oh no, we weren't talking about that. What were we talking about? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Got mad on CapCut.
Prompt engineering. So I find that the quality of output that I get from AI is relative to if I had a good sleep, if I can allot brain power, if I'm thinking clearly, if I know what I want to achieve. Because it's with AI, like, you can also go off the rails so easily.
Yes.
Like, you can, if you don't word it the right way, there's always going to be something wrong. And there's actually a brilliant account on Instagram I discovered last night, and it's this guy who's a video director or a film director, and he's trying to use AI to achieve certain goals that he would normally get with actors in a film crew. And he's like instructing them to do these different ads, and it's like impossible. It's really it's impossible to get exactly what you want from AI, and it's impossible to get consistency. And there's so many fuck ups from AI. Like most of the fun of it is just showing my gal, like, I typed in this and it gave me this. Like, it's just so brutally bad.
Yes.
99% of the time. So anyway,
I think that's, to me, I guess, almost like, as much as I'd use it a lot, I'm on board with you. Like, because I feel like, especially if you're in the arts, I feel like you're just gonna have to adopt it in some fashion, like use it in your way or something. You have to do something with it because it's inevitable that it's gonna be everywhere. So like,
It's
you have
not
no
going
choice.
away either,
You just have no choice.
Sam, you and I are like, I swear we're like, our brains work the same. Like, so many things you say, I'm like, yep.
Like, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
And I so agree. Like, it's too mind-blowing of a technology for it to be banned. And like, whenever I see people saying like, we need to ban AI, and like put all these regulations and stuff, like just in terms of music and video, I 100% agree on paper. But deep down, if I'm listening to what I actually think will happen based on someone that's observed the way the world works for 47 years, I feel like it's for sure too crazy of a technology for it to ever go away. Like, this is the world we live in, and it actually, it's kind of parallel with people that are like really pro ICE and pro American immigration. Not to like steer it into politics again, but people that are pro like ICE and like that, like kind of hardcore mentality of like, I just want it to be like how it used to be. It's like, that's not how the world works. The world is changing constantly. If something is wicked and it's like like AIDS doesn't exist and it's chill to do cocaine and you make insane cash on Wall Street and you drive a Lamborghini. Cool. That was your world then. The world has changed.
Yeah.
Now you're living in a tent. There's not only is there fentanyl in that coke, but there's also trank in it, and you are a walking zombie. Also, you know what I mean? Like the world changes so fast
everything.
and so rapidly.
Yeah, everything.
You can't crave the old times anymore. Like the world is changing, and you need to just make a second to second to minute to day to like decision. And right now, we're in a time where photography has been annihilated. Filmmaking has been massively changed. And it's fucking sucks.
Yeah,
because we've all invested and we have no career security, and
for sure.
and everyone is poor. And we thought we were going to be more rich than our parents, but we're the first generation that actually is way more poor than our parents. Everything has changed, but that's just what it is to be a mammal on planet Earth. And cows get used for meat. Sucks to be a cow. Fucking sucks. Also,
Yeah.
there's parts of being a human that now sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way the world works.
Yeah, and I think some of it is like, especially the older crew, like they don't understand it, and it's kind of like it's like a losing grip on what actually is reality because it's gone so far. Like it's not like a normal like what they understand as a 10-year change. Like 10 years to us is like eons. Like stuff moves so fast, it advances so quickly. Like
10. Oh my god!
like
the
they
thought
have
of
no idea.
planning based on 10 years. I'm like, I remember like, friggin' 2 years ago, not even a year ago, trying to explain to my parents why I need to diversify what my career is and what I'm learning is because like I will be replaced by AI. And like even a year ago, that sounded crazy to them. Like, well, maybe you shouldn't listen to like these negative YouTube channels. So it's like, oh, okay, actually, yeah, no, it is coming for you.
Yeah, it's just it's the like I don't know, like it is the reality. I think everybody will crave, regardless of how good AI gets, at least to a certain degree anyway. They'll want humans making art or whatever, but because it's just something different about it. I mean, they're all just steal. You know, AI essentially just steals everybody else's idea and makes a collage of the idea. Right now, at least anyway.
It is to me. It is pointing out the beauty of people's personalities.
Yeah,
what's the connection part
and
of
what
it?
makes and connection. Yeah, and it's, to be honest, like I feel like I've come out of my shell more since I've realized that there is no benefit anymore to observing what other people are doing and trying to assimilate. Like all of what makes me unique is just going down the rabbit hole of Steve and just seeing like just friggin' whatever that obscure thing is. It's like even like talking with you guys, like I feel like since our last podcast, you guys have become more inflated versions. Inflated is a gross word, but like you seem more like Sam now. You seem more like Ryan now. Like you're kind of becoming more the personalities that were already there, but there's clearly like more value to like bringing it out more maybe.
Yeah, and I will admit, like doing this podcast, is kind of, I wouldn't say I'm not a shy person to start with, but I'm not necessarily a vulnerable person. You know what I mean? Like those are different things, and
especially if you're from Alberta too.
Yeah, well, we're not from here, but we're here. We're here now.
It's not rewarded culturally there as much.
No,
as
and not a bit. Like arts here is kind of looked at like third-rate citizen to a certain degree, right? Like in that kind of context, like the community is really good. I will be the first one to say the community is freaking awesome.
That's right.
But the outside,
but as a whole,
outsiders looking in, it's not that picture, right? I had a thought and I can't remember what I was going to say now. I had a whole thing. I had a whole thing.
Just that you were saying.
Like by doing the podcast, like I feel like I get. I don't know. It's something about the more people that look at it, it's like the more comfortable I get with myself. In a strange way, like that's how I feel about it. Like it's almost, and it's not like a confidence thing because I don't feel like my ego is inflated by it. That's not what I mean. and maybe it
I
is to a
know.
certain degree, but I don't know. I don't know. It's
There-
a different level of
it-
confidence about it.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, Mike's out.
One second.
There we go.
Oh, I can hear you.
Check. Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice. I actually had a backup.
Excellent.
Check, please.
All good.
There you go.
No, I know what you mean though. Like there is an inner peace you find when you put yourself out there and you're accepted.
Yeah.
Even at the expense of other people maybe critiquing you. I noticed that because we used to, with Hot at Heat, we would play with the musicians that ended up becoming Wolf Parade. Like in our various bands, we were always in different bands and stuff, and they were always in different bands, and we were always playing together and stuff. And there was a bit of like a weird rivalry energy. Not so much for me because I was a fan of whatever they were doing. And then when all of a sudden Wolf Parade got signed to Sub Pop 2, and then they went on tour with Modest Mouse, and like running into them after that, and they were like, I was like, man, there's like an inner peace to Dan, for example, that I've never seen before. Like he's listening to me, like he's not judging me. He's just a sweetie. But before that, like I just felt fucking pissed off energy from him all the time. And I don't think it's ego, because like he is, since I made that observation, it's been 20 years, and he's like, he was playing on SNL with Arcade Fire, not, like this year and stuff like that. And it's like, I really don't think it's an ego thing. I think it's like he had a voice in his head of like what he wanted to get out to the world, and he needed that validation just to know he wasn't just a crazy person in his head. I mean, this is what I'm guessing, because that's kind of my experience. And once you put enough of who you truly are out to the world and you're observed, it's like it does create an inner peace. And I think if who you put out to the world isn't actually who you really are, then it doesn't do the same. You don't get the same benefits, because you're like, you could have millions of fans and they're just like, yeah, you're like, yeah, they're fans of like the mask I'm wearing, but that's not who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, because even when we first started, I felt like, not like I was putting on a persona, but like it's like I have to. This is what it looks like in front of a camera or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you have this
Of course,
predefined version of what it should look and sound like, I guess, or whatever. But I don't know. It's just like, yeah, it's different. I find like now, like I find it super. As much as I do get nervous to talk to some people and this and that and whatever, but it's different. It's not the same type of nervousness. It's not. I don't know. It's like when you meet certain people along your path that are kind of like maybe a hero or whatever kind of way you look at them. But once you speak to them, you understand that those people are people. I don't know. It's validating to you in a weird way. Like it's like, oh yeah, we are actually. You're just a dude in a room, the same as I'm a dude in a room. Like, I don't know. It takes the thing down, like, and not in a bad way. Even it's like it feels like everybody becomes way more relatable.
Yes,
that's 100%. How I would say it, kind of thing.
It's almost like there was like a massive industry that was fame, and it really thrived like throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe up to the 2010s. And then the internet made people go, okay, like fame is still a value, but the concept of famous people being an elevated level is that's actually what's dead. Like fame is more just essentially like your distribution, like do enough people choose to want to see you. Whereas before it was like not only was it just like, do you have access to those channels of distribution? Like, is like, is like the National Enquirer writing about who you're dating?
Yeah.
It's like now it's not just about distribution, because anyone can get distribution if they're of value to the viewer. And like, and then we went, okay, most of the people that are getting distribution and are being talked about online or watched online actually are not of elevated brain value or physical value necessarily. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like anyone could be famous. And that's sort of kind of leveled the playing field. And now we're like, yeah, now we're kind of in this like weird purgatory. Like, what is fame even?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would 100% agree with that.
I feel like sometimes, yeah, too. Like now that we have access to so many people and so many different streams of entertainment or music or whatever, like the curtain has kind of fallen down, and you kind of see people, and you're like, hey, like this person's actually he's an idiot. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's
so,
there's that side, too.
What is fame?
There's that side.
What even is fame anymore?
I think, Ryan, what like you're pointing out is what is going on with like what's his name? He's all over Sora too, and he fought against Mike Tyson. Why am I blanking on
Jake
his
Paul.
name? Yeah, Jake Paul. So like there's like the Jake Paul kind of realm of fame and the Kim Kardashian realm. And that sort of TMZ kind of fame, it's like it's really starting to like the line between just some random dude doing something crazy online and like Kanye West, like destroying a journalist's phone on TMZ, like that line, it's like one step over. It's not this crazy other world like
Yeah.
where it's like the monarchy or whatever. Even the monarchy, like their fame, it seems like, yeah, like oh wait, so being a king just means like you're kind of a d-bag? Oh, like it's like all those lines have been blurred and
Yeah.
and are less significant now.
Yeah, and everybody's so like, I mean, everybody's a message away. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how like that. I think that takes away some of it to a certain degree. And then something I've noticed too is like, and I understand that like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, there wasn't a camera around all the time. You know what I mean? Like there's that whole thing too. So like there was a bit of mystique left
Yeah.
behind.
You need that, yeah.
Whereas now it's like, I mean, you can literally watch anybody basically do their entire day on, Instagram or whatever. So like it's kind of like, I don't know, it removes a little bit of the
Yes.
that from it. Like the veil
That-
is not there.
That was the growing pains I was going through with Hot at Heat, as because we kind of came into the public sphere pre social media, and everyone's saying like, oh, you gotta get a Twitter account. It's like, oh, okay. And like I was the only one in the band that had any interest in social media, and not even interest, just like I seemed to be the only one accountable for our failings at social media. So I was like trying to wrap my head around it. And I wasn't great at it. And then, sorry, what did you just say? Something you just said was triggered
The
where I
veil
was
drops
going.
a little bit. Kind of the mystique is gone.
The mystique is gone
Oh, yeah.
from the old days.
That was all of our argument for the whole band's career, was like mystique is essential. Like by posting too much, you're damaging your mystique. And it similar to the AI adoption curve, I feel like eventually people went, yeah, I get the mystique argument, but this isn't going away. And you know what? Jake Paul just embraced Sora too. So, and it's actually, he's only blowing up because of it. So I guess we're going to do Sora 2 now. Like that's where I see AI going. And the same way, all of a sudden, it's like you would see, all it takes is like that one major artist to go, you know what? I'm just going to post myself on social media constantly and say, fuck Mystique. Like that's the old guard. And once that switch is flipped, it's like the world doesn't go back. And that's kind of what I feel like with AI. And bums me out because I've spent years like equally hating on AI as I have been like just devilishly curious about it.
Yeah. You going for a leak?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh God, thank God, Ryan. I got it too.
Talk about the power dynamic.
Well, yeah, like even with this Juno thing, I'm like, I don't even know if I've worked on anything in the last year. What have I worked on? And I was like trying to think of, because you have to submit a couple songs that you've put out, and I'm always so focused on what I'm doing at the moment. Like I have multiple songs with different artists and then my own stuff, and I have this, my iPhone wallpaper is this quote that I read somewhere, and it was perfect is the opposite of paid, or something like that. And like basically, like I'm just like such a criminal perfectionist, so I'll start a song with a band and I'll just work on it, and then like I won't send it to them. It's like, no, it's not ready, and I'll take weeks away from it. Then I'll come back and I'm just like ferociously obsessed with it for days and days and days and days. And then at a certain point I'll send it to them, and it just like most of the time will blow their mind. Sometimes if I send it to them before it's ready, I'll never hear from them again. So that, I think that's happened enough times that like I will only send it to the band if I'm absolutely obsessed. So I'm like living in a handful of songs right now that I think are like, the greatest, co-songwriting I've done, or, production or mix or master I've done, because I've been really obsessed with mastering and stuff too. And yeah, my entire world is like a handful of songs at any given time. And then often I'll do stuff for people and I'll just be obsessive, and then the band breaks up, or they release it and they don't promote it, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, anyway, so when Garth was like, someone asked me to ask you to submit to the Junos, and I'm like, I don't even, because you need to submit songs you've done. And I'm like, what have I even done this year? Like, I don't even know what I've done this year, but I know I've been working on like a ton of stuff. It's weird, yeah. So I don't know.
When you take a break from producing and stuff, have you ever came back to a song and kind of realized maybe I've overproduced this? Has that ever become a thing? Or
yeah, I mean, less so with the producing part, because to me, like it would be more so with mixing. Like often, because like I feel like the act of getting better at a craft is you need to constantly be absorbing new information about that craft and like implementing it into like your workflow, and like seeing if you can assimilate it. But you also have to be savvy to know when this guy's talking like he knows what he's doing, but actually he's an idiot. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to sort of see. And I've struggled with assuming everybody knows more than me all the time. And it's only been a recent thing that I've kind of had the internal self-esteem to be like, these people have like millions of followers on their YouTube channel, and they're saying stuff that actually is unwise in my experience. But there's a lot of times where someone will say something online and I'll be like, okay, my entire workflow has changed, and I will just buy new gear. I'll switch. Like there's been periods where I will like, oh, did I check?
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. There's been chapters where it's like someone will say like, you need to be using analog summing, and I'll spend like 15 grand and like run everything through that, and I'll learn about summing and everything will change. And then I'll be like, you know what? There's a lot of downsides to this too, because I have to physically patch everything in. And if like I'm in the shower and I'm listening to the song for fun, and I realize, oh, like the bass is like definitely too quiet. Oh my God, like the song is about the bass. And then I think about patching everything in the way I had it. And then I'm like, okay, I got to find the video, because I would like video how everything was patched in and the settings for everything. I'm like, "Ugh, you know what? It's fine. The client's already approved it, whatever." Whereas now I will, even if the client's approved it, I'll message them. Is it released yet? No? Okay. I have a whole new version, and I'll spend days on a whole new version, because mixing is sort of like spinning plates, where if all of a sudden you're like obsessed with this plate, this one actually just crumbled, and you're like, oh, I was focused on this plate and that one just crumbled. Shoot. So it's like the most. It really is. Mixing is a recipe for insanity, and I think it's probably why I've become like pretty insane. Like I really made a point of showering and shaving for this interview.
We appreciate
Oh,
it.
But
thanks.
I will go so many days, and that's why I'm with the right gal, because she just gets it. And I will go days and days and days just obsessed with stuff, like barely eating, barely sleeping, just fully letting everything in my life just crumble, because I'm obsessed with taking a song that's already been approved by a band and is like they're ready to release it, and I know I can make it better. And when I have those instincts, I'm always correct. It always does get better. But so when you say like, is it sometimes that you overproduce something? It's not that I overproduce it. It's that sometimes in the effort to make something better, I will have to like press pause or stop and send it to a band, and they may approve it, but I may know, like, in pursuit of what my goal was, I didn't hit it yet. And it's, in my mind, I'd almost rather that they just released, if you have to release something, release the older version where it was like the energy was more raw. But there's somewhere between like raw energy and like just absolute sonic and songwriting gold, where you actually, if you just try, like strive for it, you do sometimes hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, you do sound like a perfectionist. I mean, and you do know better what that you need the bass in this, or you know what I mean. Like, if you can make something better, why not try and make sure you're giving the best product to the person who's hiring you to do such a thing, right?
Yeah, and I really like. There's something about having a child. Like Maisie's almost 2 years old, and it's like every second that I'm not with her, I better be not just like going down the rabbit hole for the sake of like my own sort of like, dopamine hits, like it needs to be a conscious decision to go down the rabbit hole. And so like I feel like I always have to like explain it to myself, and then to Drew and to Maisie. Like I need to know, like, this band, they're not signed, they have no views on their social media, but they've hired me. I was paid like 3 years ago. The song's not out yet, but I know I can make it better. And it's like it, it's so counterproductive on paper, but in the grand scheme of things, like if I don't listen to my instincts, which to other people might seem like OCD or perfectionism, and I see it as perfectionism, and that's where I start to go, okay, maybe this is crazy. But I find when I listen to my instincts, the payoff is like, it is there in the long run, just not always in the short run. And that's kind of the scary thing. So I think that's why I say, like, I think I'm with the right person, because she's listened to me talk about it enough, and she's seen my like seemingly nonsensical process enough to go, okay, like, he's actually not insane, and this isn't bullshit. Like, he is because she sees the payoff from it. Like I'll go down a rabbit hole, even with the studio here. Like I keep modifying like the workflow and like building my own acoustic panels and rewiring it, and now I'm like on this tip of building like an ISO booth, which has become an ISO room for the drums. And like I just like I get obsessed with these things, and then Drew will see someone come to the studio, whether it's like a client or just like a friend of hers or a family member, and they will see what I've been kind of like blabbing about to her when she's exhausted at the end of the night for like the last like 6 months, and she'll see the reaction they have when they're like, oh my god, this is so next level. And then she'll go, yeah, it is next level. Okay. It's like he's not crazy. Whereas most people I've been with are just kind of like they whatever sort of fame I had with the band, that was enough to attract them to me. But then when they see what actually is my personality makeup, they're like, no, I want to go on dates, and I want you to but to be with someone like me, you have to be very patient and like understanding of someone that has like a calling towards something that is arguably ridiculous.
How does that dynamic kind of change, say, working with Ryan Dahl and Huxley? Like when you guys are all together in a room, like do they kind of have to say like, no, like this is great the way it is, or do they, how did that work between you guys?
I would say the reason why the band isn't more active is because we all are the same way, but about different things. So like Huxley will look at Ryan and go, oh, like he's obsessed about something that means absolutely nothing. And then Ryan will look at me and be like, what? Like, who cares about what you're focusing on? Like, you are a songwriter and a lyricist, and like we each see the other person's value for something different than what they see their value to be at that moment. And we're all on our own sort of tip. And I know them well enough to see, like, even right now, I'm like Huxley, for example, he's been posting on social media about how he's learning like some old back catalog songs for this upcoming tour, and he's doing some more obscure songs lately for his upcoming tour. And Ryan and I have been like, why aren't you playing old, like why aren't you playing like stuff from your new record? Why are you playing just the hits? Like we all have our opinions of like how his career should be, and he has his opinions about how our career should be. Like he's always telling me, you got to do a singer-songwriter album on piano, and all this stuff. And then Ryan was always like, you shouldn't be so focused on mixing. Like you're a songwriter. But we all, I think we're all right and we're all wrong at the same time. And it's sort of like you just have to figure out who your muse is, like in your heart. Like, so every day I want to wake up and feel like a burning feeling where it's like, I have to do this. You know what I mean? And to make sure that I have that burning desire, I have multiple things on the go all the time. So, for like a month, I was obsessed with building this isolated drum room. And it was like, Drew was kind of like, okay, like we need money. Like, are you a genius or are you actually like going downhill? That kind of energy. And then I was like, no, it's just, I know myself. And like right now I have this burning desire to do like all this like physical construction. And I was like building, like, you can't see it here, but I've built so much physical stuff, like all these acoustic panels, and I've learned about tuning the room and frequencies, and like I've gone down crazy like room tuning rabbit holes and stuff. And then I got obsessed with like wiring and sound isolation recently, and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, we really do need some money, and like I was ignoring emails, so it's like, okay, I'll take on some client work. But I was like, the reason why I'm not taking on client work is because I know how my brain works, and right now I'm just tuned for this chapter of what I'm working on. And when I switch gears, it'll be really hard to go back. And now like I have like a half done drum ISO room in the other room, and it's like it feels like a million miles away. And I'm just obsessed with, you know, the songs I'm working on for some other artists right now. And I can't picture going back into like construction mode. You know what I mean?
I do.
I'm rambling, but basically, I think if you have the luxury of having multiple things that you could be working on at any given time, then you fortunately get to like wake up and go, you know what? My brain is telling me I'm obsessed to like wire this video doorbell, you know, or whatever it is, you know, as opposed to just kind of like on somebody else's clock, like you have to be obsessed with doing what is best for the company. And it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think like a sense of autonomy is really strong with me, and I tend to rebel against what's best for me, even if what even if I'm rebelling against myself that said you have to do this. You know, does that make sense? I don't know.
It does actually. It's funny because I'm relating very much to this, like very much. I need to have at least 10 things going on at once for one thing to get done.
Yes,
It's a very odd thing. It's like there has to be constant pressure.
It's like a different stimuli of the brain, right? So,
Yeah, it's like if there's not
Yeah.
any pressure, I don't have any desire. It's weird. It's a
Yeah.
very odd.
And
thing.
even if that pressure is your own creation.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, that's my, like, people think I'm silly at my day job because I put, like, a lot of, like, they see it as putting, like, you're so hard on yourself. You're putting so much pressure. I'm like, but if there's no pressure, I will just sit and not.
I know.
So if there's, it's, I have to create almost like a narrative in my mind that there's a deadline at all times for everything. And then it forces me ahead. Like, and then it's like, if I keep stacking stuff up, then I'll be better at those things almost. Like, it's a weird thought. But
And let me
works.
ask you this: is that a recipe for success, or is that just a side effect of your neurodivergency?
I don't know. I don't see having ADHD and stuff as a problem, I guess. Like, I don't look at it that way. Like, yes, it does get in the
I don't either.
way
I
sometimes.
see it as a superpower, but I
Yeah.
see it being disruptive in my life until I'm with the right people.
Well, that's exactly it. That's one thing that I will admit. Like partners in life, I think have a hard time with me for similar reasons that I'm sure you do. Like, I'm very obsessive in a positive or negative way, but it's happening regardless, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I see it as more of like, I feel I have it under control. Whether that's real or not, I'm not entirely sure. But to me, I don't feel erratic about it. But I've learned enough tricks along the way. Like, I'm 40 now. I've learned enough tricks that I can kind of keep myself on the path, even though the path may be a twisted and turny path. I don't know. I don't look at it as a negative necessarily, though. I won't say that. I would never in my life say that.
I get like the vibe of like Sam is a man that's like, he's always making progress. He's always moving forward. Like, just trust where Sam's going. It's an improvement, just even if you don't understand his path. And then I feel like Ryan has the trait that Steve and Sam wish we had, which is like, you just have like a certain level of inner calm and peace that, like, even if you're going down the rabbit hole of like, you know, conspiracy theories and stuff, like, you're not getting wound up in your cortisol the same way that Sam and I are. Like,
I feel this.
Sam and I may achieve great things in pursuit of something that you already have built in. You know what I mean?
I could kind of
to a certain degree,
see that. Yeah, I mean,
from my perspective to you, 100 to a certain.
I would say my cortisol levels are a lot higher than most people would think. I maybe have a way of masking that, I would say. But yeah, I feel like we both work well together, and if it wasn't for him, this whole thing wouldn't even exist, and I wouldn't have a outlet to speak to awesome people like yourself. So I don't know, it kind of works.
But I also feel like Sam probably he couldn't do like you couldn't do this without
100%.
Ryan's energy.
100%. And I always say that. Like, there's a certain part of me that feels like, as much as I may have been, like the push kind of thing, there's a lot of me that feels like you are better at this part than me. Like, I'm good at making it look cool, sound good, all those things or whatever, but there's a portion
I
of
feel
me
like we
that's like,
I've worked with
supporting
like
each other
so many
well.
bands where there's two Sams in the band, and it doesn't work.
no, man, it won't. There can't be two of
And-
me. I'll be the first one to say
And
that.
and two Ryans doesn't work.
No, I don't think that would work either. Yeah, like we support each other and we kind of boost each other up and support each other that way. And I think, yeah, like for me, I wasn't sure if this was even what I wanted to do. Like I've always had a hard time putting myself out there, and like as we've talked before, like the more you do, you kind of feel more comfortable with yourself and in being who you are and letting the world kind of into who I am or who we are or whatever.
Yeah.
So it works like the yin and yang type of thing
is,
where
yeah.
we both kind of feed off each other and it works that way. But yeah, I don't know. Like
Cool.
I feel like I don't kind of let on. Maybe I have a emotional deficit as well, like or whatever. I don't know. Like it just works. I don't.
It's also nice. It is a nice thing to like with like a podcast like your guys is like you can put it on in the background and it's a wallpaper of a vibe where two men are in their 30s or 40s and like they're like stoked to hang out with each other with each other, which as I've gotten older I realize like there's a very very small amount of days in the year where it's me and one other guy just hanging out as buds and talking. Like maybe like Ryan Dahl came over here maybe like a month or two ago and it was like, oh my God. Like we had maybe 6 hours together and I was like, wow, like every second was just like dripping with like one of us wanting to say something to the other person and not like essential critical stuff, just like random stuff, like talking about like there's a spot where I've discovered where it's like this like lumber yard that gets rid of like wood scraps at the end of every day, and it's like blown my mind, and so I like took him there and we were just like, yeah, this is insane, and like we're loading up our trucks with wood. It's like, oh, you want to build shelves? Okay, then you should take this. No, you have it. No, you need it. Okay. This piece looks like it would be good for you. Yeah. And it was like to have a day as a guy in his 40s just hanging out and being a bud with another guy. It's actually like super rare. So I can see listeners sort of enjoying like the X factor of that energy and not necessarily knowing why they like that feeling, but maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I
so.
do
I've
feel
got
like
that comment kind of or something similar in that vibe kind of thing a couple times about their podcast.
Entering your 40s, I feel like your friend numbers drop drastically. So like it is important to have somewhat of a connection with a bud. You can kind of shoot the shit about anything, and we don't always necessarily talk about podcasting or whatever or music. We're talking about whatever. So it is very important, I feel like, to have those people to bounce ideas off of, whatever it is, whether you're doing the lighting or you're building something or you're going to a lumber yard and picking up scraps. You kind of always need to kind of have that
also I don't know if you notice this, but like as I get older, because like the gaps of time between connections are longer, consistency ends up being like a way more coveted trait in a pal than I had realized, because some pals like I won't talk to them for like 5 years, or 10 years even, and it's just like boom, same dude. That's Dave. That's Aaron. Boom. Like, I don't even have to like catch them up on stuff. It's just like where it's like the exact same vibe, and it's like, oh my god, I love this guy. And then next thing you know, it's like years before you talk to him again.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we've always
that
had those
consistency
people,
is nice.
who just like, oh, we should do this more often. But then it's like 2 years go by, and then it's like, God, like why is it like that? But yeah, like to have someone every Thursday, like we're together, we're doing this thing over the last 110 episodes or whatever it is. So
Wow, are you at 110?
Oh, we're probably at, like, if we in terms of actual episodes, we're probably like 120 odd, 30 odd, maybe even. But like published, this one will be 104.
okay,
Damn,
Yeah.
dude. And like think of like I know how much effort went into like locking down this podcast. So like to do that times 120, like props.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah, it's the longest running thing I've possibly ever done. You know what I mean? Like consistently, I've stuck to that and done that thing for that many times.
yeah.
There's somebody online said that women like connections to people and like relationships, and men like things. And I sort of do relate to that. Like men do often when I get together with people, like they talk about their things, you know. But I do think that you can sort of hack the mainframe a bit by like it's like as a man, your instinct is like it must feel good to like collect, because like men love to collect.
Yep.
And like you're collecting episodes, but technically they're instances of connecting
Yeah.
with humans.
Yeah.
You know, so you're kind of like combining both worlds.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we kind of just let it rip, but I don't know. I think that's the fun of it to a certain degree. Like we do have plans and whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like we do plan things, but
Then there's other episodes
But
where
we
it's
just
just
don't-
both of us and we're drinking beers and we're talking about whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I like those too, right? So it's all.
But even like
Yeah.
I found even recently, even with guests, like yes, I do prepare myself. Like I don't want to show up unprepared. Like that's not professional. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see that. But to a certain degree, there's a certain amount of like I like to just talk to people, and I like without any preconceived bunch
Wait,
of like
so
piles of
you
questions.
prepared for this episode?
Gently prepared.
Like, how do you like in what format?
So I don't know. Like, so basically, what ends up happening? It depends on the guest. So like, we've talked to you already once. So like, the first time around, like, I really got into it. And like, honestly, I mean,
Yeah,
I was a
we
huge
got into the
fan
base.
of Hot Heat. Like, I mean, I was.
Mhm.
So, and I still am. But like, you know what I mean? I kind of felt like, okay, I have to know a bunch of stuff just in case. And I don't feel like we had the same amount of experience at that time either. But now, like,
Just in case, I was like, we are here to talk about Steve. Go prove to
Prove me. How
Show
big a
my
fan
ear.
are you really?
do it now.
And I don't think we talked about anything because you were like, "Hey, I don't really feel like we just talked about other things, like kind of
Yeah.
how we started this episode off with conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's not a A to B to C thing. It's more or less we're just shooting the shit, like
Yeah.
and
Well, like I said, it's something about this format where we've like constructed a play zone where it's like on this date we are getting together and it's a play date,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and we are at the floors are bouncy, there's balls everywhere, and your parents are drinking wine, so you can just do whatever you want.
100%.
And we're just like,
Yeah, 'cause like
You know?
like at this point, prep is basically like I just want to have a bunch of factoids type of thing, like jot notes in my brain that if you say something about an album or you work with someone or whatever the thing is, it's not necessarily like I have a direct question for you or anything really or comment. I just like I want to know enough about what you said so that when we're talking, I have a question that comes up, or like what you're saying is something I didn't
Right.
necessarily think of or didn't read about. I have enough information to play off of that kind of thing. Like ask a question I'm genuinely interested in. That's really
Totally.
prep. That's totally prep now. Like it used to be really hardcore. Like I have to know details but it's not.
Which
I don't know. I'm not
it's-
that interested
It's
in that anymore.
confusing too because technically prep is a drug that people take so that they don't get HIV.
That's true.
So it's I actually I
okay.
take a pre-workout instead of coffee. I don't actually do the workout, but and it's from Walmart and it's called iPrep.
Oh
wow.
And I'm like I always think about like the like drug you take like if you are sexually active and unprotected called PrEP, which has stopped a lot of HIV transmission. And I'm like, anyway. So the word PrEP has really been altered in my brain, but
Take on a different meaning for sure.
Yeah.
I think now I might lose that word in the
Yeah.
sense of
yeah,
I'm taking that out of my repertoire.
yeah.
That's enough.
I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of like how like technically the swastika existed for centuries before the Nazis.
Yeah, it didn't have
Kind of
anything to do with that.
It's kind of like the American flag and you know Christianity. It's really been co-opted by the far right, which is unfortunate. You know.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is true.
I mean, the flag should be for everyone, right? Not just the.
It is the nation's flag after
Now
all.
it feels like if you fly the American flag, it feels like people put you into that right side unfairly, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean,
if
that's
I
the same
if
way
I
in
was
Canada.
moving to the States and I was like looking for apartments or basement suites, and I like get to the house like, okay, this should be it, and I see like a big American flag, I'd be like, they're Republicans.
Yeah, it's
You know what
funny
I
how
mean?
that-
Like
it's
I
funny how
wouldn't
that is.
assume they're
Canadians
they're
kind of
open to a tattooed pale Jew. You know what I mean? Like myself.
so now in
Yeah.
Canada the Canadian flag is kind of the other way. A little bit,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I do. I'm like I don't follow American or Canadian politics enough to understand why people hate certain things about certain politicians. All I know is Canada just seems like a dream to me. Like I know there's so much messed up shit that could be better. Like I do think like it's like there's the dissolving of the middle class is why like there's there's such poverty and drug addiction and stuff, and I do feel like Canada, like any city, could be responding to that better. But overall, I'm so friggin' stoked to be a Canadian right now.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wouldn't want to be an American. I'll put it that way. That's my thing. Like I don't have. To be fair, I've never really had much time. Like it's not a place I'm like, oh, this would be sick to go see, do whatever. And I'm sure the people are beautiful and fine. I don't mean it for that, but I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. Like I don't know. I don't get into their vibe.
I'm not a fan of toxic positivity, and the reason I say that is because there's parts of the States where it's like they are clearly more positive on the surface than Canadians. Like in Vancouver, like a lot of people are like, oh, it's really like standoffish and people seem not like inviting and stuff. But I do think like there's certain things about certain American personality types, especially like in the deep South and stuff, where it's like Southern hospitality and stuff. It's like, but those are affectations. It's like kindness, but it's an affectation. If you're still down with like ICE deporting the father of his children, and like there's just so many like things that are so disgusting that people are totally fine with like waving it, just being okay with, that I'm like, I don't care how nice you are to me when I go to freaking Cracker Barrel or Waffle House. If you are super down with this level of like insane, like if you're fine with deporting someone to a prison camp that they will never leave, like I'm sorry, but fuck you.
Yes, and I agree
Yeah.
with that. I totally agree with that. Because that's the one thing. Like I don't know. I think that like I'm just not into And it's not like this is new to me, at least. Like, I'm just not into their thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm all for patriotism, for instance. Like, I'm all for that, but not in their context. Like, it's so obnoxious, and I don't know. It's just
Well,
it's unhealthy. Like,
they've co-opted like people with like a dark desire to harm people. They do exist. Like there is Darth Vaders living among us. And those people have co-opted patriotism and Christianity, and like any number of good traits have been co-opted by the Darth Vaders of this world, to convince you that it's okay to commit acts of like pure evil. And like I've seen people around me like actually be coerced to be on board with evil. And that also makes me go, well, at what point, where is the threshold of evil? Because we all turn our brain off at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like I was vegetarian for years, in and out of veganism, and then at a certain point, for a number of reasons, I was just like, you know what, I need to eat meat. And I like that's where like my morality went, like, this is fucked up, this is dark, but I'm turning my brain off here. And we all turn our brain off at a certain point. So that's why I do sort of like I give space for people that are like, I've grown up around other Americans. I've grown up around only Republicans. I mean, like in the church, I've been indoctrinated. I mean, they don't know they've been indoctrinated. I do think like a lot of people that like are on board with endorsing other people that are evil are actually good people. You know, it's just typical kind of brainwashing, and we all are brainwashed to a certain degree. So that's why I give space to a lot of different types of people. But at this point, from like 2016 till 2026, let's say, we've all had enough time to decide like where do we stand on human rights. And yeah. Anyway, sorry to go there.
no, man, it's all good.
Yeah.
You're up my alley. I like it. It's fine.
How long have you switched back to eating meat and stuff?
Well, I've gone into the vegetarian world a couple times for maybe like 5-year periods. So it's probably been like 5 or 6 years that I've been back to meat. Mainly because my situation is kind of weird, which is I grew up in a family where my parents devoted so much time to groceries and meal prep and meals and all this stuff, and I for years was kind of like, let's just eat garbage and hang out. Like, why are we spending so much time on food and dinner, and then we eat at the table and it's finally this proper meal, and it's like we're not even like connecting because we haven't hung out all day. So it's the same with Drew and Maisie and I, where it's like, yeah, we try and eat decent if we can, you know, but we don't make it like the forefront of our life. Like there's just so many things that is in our life, like to be able to like afford to live and to, I don't know, adapt to this like changing world, that like food isn't a huge priority for us. So it's like I look at a certain point, I was just like, I need to look at food as sustenance. Like I just need to live. I just need something caloric in my body to live. And also like I came from a family where my grandma lived to almost 100 and my grandpa lived to 105, and they had like wartime mentality. So they were they like ate whatever was cheapest. You know, they ate tons of McDonald's. They like, you know what I mean? Like they weren't health organic nuts. And like my grandpa was savvy and with it till 105. So I don't necessarily buy into the benefits of like all the health stuff that
Mhm.
a lot of people talk about. I think everyone's body is actually drastically different, and that doesn't fit into capitalist America. And so it's like it's so much easier to say everyone should be taking methylene blue. You know, it's like, okay, RFK, well, you know, like we're all different. And so yeah, I like part of me was doing it for health, but mainly I was doing it for moral reasons because you know, I've had lots of pets, and I just feel like they're humans. They're the same as us. So yeah, I really should be vegetarian, but at the same time, when I was vegetarian, I did feel like my health went downhill and my energy was just dipped super low, and I feel like we live in a world where like if you're not kind of primed to take on your day every day, like
Yes.
you really suffer, and there's like a trickle down effect. And I have a lot of friends that are vegetarian and vegan, and I've seen how much effort they have to put into eating and stuff. And I just, yeah, like I said, I grew up in a house where so much energy was put into food that I just have an aversion to it to this day. Like I eat what sort of presents itself to me, and it's weird. Like yeah, you'll probably be playing at this clip at my funeral in 2 years, but like I have a really weird aversion to putting time into my diet, and it's stupid, but it's also like throw that into the pile of other stuff I do that's stupid and I don't understand, you know.
I'm fully relating to what you're saying here, as astonishing as that might sound. But yeah, but like I'm a person who's like, I feel sleep and food are waste of time. I don't like either.
Dude, me
Like,
too.
it's just
In
a
fact,
thing,
because
man.
we were doing this podcast, I forced myself to go to sleep at a reasonable hour, which ended up being 2:30 a.m.
I
and
totally
I got
understand
a
this.
full 8 hours, and I'm like,
And that's exactly it. Like I don't know, and I'm like back to the obsessive thing or whatever. But like, it's one of those things. Like, cause like I could be literally about to pass out because I'm so bloody hungry. But if I'm doing something, I don't stop to eat. It's not happening. I could care less. I'll die right here.
I don't know.
dude, you need to do an ADHD podcast because you don't present as ADHD at
Oh, I'm
all.
horrible. I'm a horrible ADHDer. Like,
But
full on.
you have all the telltale symptoms.
Oh yeah, like I'm pretty good at like sitting here calmly ish, and I can do that.
Yeah.
But I have lots of visuals. There's lights. There's a couple of different screens I can look at. Like it's a whole entertainment system kind of thing. But so like I mean I live in this house now more or less by myself. So it's like, yeah, dude. I mean I'm healthy. I eat. I do gym and all those things. But like when I get into something, oh, I'm in it, man. I don't eat. I'll just
Yeah.
I forget that time exists.
Ryan, do you like, are you just kind of used to that with Sam, or do you like often look at him and go, "Oh my God, that's so Sam," or "That's so ADHD"?
Well, when it comes to the sleep aspect, yes, because I am not like that at all. I mean, if I have to get up at 4:45 in the morning to get ready for work, I kind of would like to have it be shut down, you know, by at least 10:30. And I'm
Wait,
on a strict.
Do you wake up in 5 hours for work tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow. Yeah. So, but
Oh,
he
thank God.
does have to work
I gotta work
tomorrow. But he's a.
Oh, thanks, guys.
If we weren't doing this, he'd still be up
No, man. What
at this
time?
time anyway, right? And
It's
that's
only
one thing
quarter
I'm
after
like,
12,
Sam,
it's
I don't
fine.
know how you do it. Like you don't sleep. Like he'd be up, you know, he could be making a beat or
Well, I'm
or, you know,
always-
doing whatever, right? And I'm kind of more the opposite of that. I have a strict routine, and I, you know, do my.
Okay,
So it's like
interesting.
that's
Yeah.
the part that I notice, is the sleep aspect of things, and he could probably live off less sleep than I do.
Oh,
Like
100%.
I need at least 6 hours for sure, and I think 6 hours is usually my sweet spot. But like, yeah, no, that's one thing that I notice for sure.
Yeah. If I leave myself
Interesting.
alone today, like I could stay up all night and just go to work tomorrow. Wouldn't be a big deal. It might be a big deal by like 7:00 tomorrow night kind of thing or whatever, but
I find it actually like sometimes I feel pleasantly high when I don't sleep enough.
yeah, dude. Yes.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Weird endorphins.
Overall, though, like there's
Yeah.
like when I don't sleep enough, though, I do feel like throughout the day there's moments where I'm like I'm confronting a lack of CPU. Like
That has happened, yeah.
and I'm like
I find my
my
diet
brain
is
is
worse.
significantly downgraded. And I can tell.
Yeah, I find mostly it's what I eat. I don't find sleep as bad. Like, I mean, if I run it together, like if I do a couple 4 days in a row, and I'm not doing much sleep. That gets a bit weird. But I find it's about what I eat a lot of times. Like if I eat a lot of sugary shit, like I get into a bit of Halloween candy or something like that. I find
Dude,
that tampers with my life.
Sugar destroys my brain.
Yeah, I don't think properly in any fashion. As I'm very slow. Like my brain is start with it slow. I know that, but I'm just not like there's no grease on the wheel, man. Like I don't have any outside the box thought. It's grinding the whole day, like just grinding. Because like I mean, I'm having a beer and whatever, but like I don't eat much junk food necessarily anymore. Like the odd time I'll have, like anybody or whatever. But if I can stick away from sugary, shitty stuff, especially dyed objects like dyed candy and stuff like that or
Yeah,
whatever,
dude.
drinks and stuff, I can do anything on no sleep. But as soon as I incorporate sugar into the thing, that's a whole different problem. I have a whole different problem with that.
I find my relationship with food is almost like dopamine based. Like
Yes.
my gal Drew, she loves Haagen-Dazs chocolate and peanut butter ice cream, like obsessed with it. And it's like this constant thing of like, do we buy it? Do we not? It's like it's like a big topic. And then sometimes she'll like be like, do you want a bite? And I'm like, no, because there's just once I have a bite, my dopamine's activated and I just it's like actually not to name drop, but Dave Grohl once said to me personally, he said I avoid cocaine because I remember when we were touring with Nirvana, we'd be on the bus after a show and there'd be like a tray of cocaine going around to everyone, and whoever was doing the cocaine, you could tell as soon as they did it, you would be talking to them and their eyes were just like watching the tray, like just wanting it to come back to them. And it was like all about, whereas like if he was like, if you don't do it, you're not watching the tray, like you're just enjoying the conversation.
Mhm.
And I'm the same with not with cocaine, but with sugar. More so like just really like reward based food. So like
Mhm.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Haagen-Dazs specifically, and this one kind of flavor especially, if I have a bite, I can't stop. Like I will finish an entire tub of
Mhm.
Haagen-Dazs.
I've
Like
been
I can't put it away.
I've been
So
feeling
I'm
like
like,
I'm
it's
with that.
yeah.
Like if I
What's
start,
that?
I don't stop.
especially with it being Halloween just a couple days ago, like or last week, whatever it was, like I get home from work the other day and it's just like, oh, I'm thinking about these nacho Takis that I have in the pantry, or these like little Dairy Milk chocolate bars, and it's like you have one, and then it's like, oh well, it's only a little bag. I mean, I can just two.
You don't feel
two more,
satisfied.
two more, and it is
There's
such
no
a
satisfaction.
dopamine like complete takeover of my brain.
Oh yeah.
But then you do feel like absolute garbage, and it's like, oh wow, it's like 8 o'clock. I still haven't eaten dinner yet. It's like, oh, like you know what I mean?
Oh, I do,
And
man.
I do agree
I
with you
do.
on the fact, like going back to like sometimes like the all day thing is like, what are we having for dinner? And it's like your whole day revolves around that, and that's one part of being an adult or whatever it is that I it's so. It's exhausting. Like everything is just like,
Monotonous.
we got to take out this for dinner, and we're doing this, and it's just the same things, and it's like,
Yeah, I find if you remove like the confines of like traditional meal formats from your life, and you're just like, you know what, when I'm hungry, I'll just like look around and see what presents itself, and like, you know, and maybe you'll
Being
go
a
through a
grazer.
phase where yogurt and granola with blueberries is like your thing that you eat 3 meals a day, and like, and then other times you'll just be obsessed with like $3.99 pizzas from Shoppers, or
Yeah. It's like
Oh
or whatever.
yeah.
the path of least
I just
resistance.
Yeah, like I try to intentionally not make it a big part of my brain. Um and when you have a kid, it starts to become like an actual like selfish insensitivity to be like that. So I'm kind of confronting that a little bit, but for the most part, I've established in my mind and with everyone around me that um like I can not eat for, like, I will find that there's days where it's like, oh wow, like I haven't eaten for 18 hours.
Mhm.
And I've been hungry throughout that time, but not to the point where I want to like pause and even put like a friggin' can of Tim Hortons chili in the microwave. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I
I'm
do.
just like, "Oh, I really should put something in my body, but then there's this and this and this. And it's so it's almost like it's a superpower, and I can't tell if it actually is or if it's just that I'm at the stage in life where I look at all my flaws as superpowers. You know, like, I don't know.
I don't know if it's a
Uh,
flaw. I don't know. I don't know. To a certain degree, I think ADHD is kind of it's just a I don't know. To me, it's almost like a classification of a certain particular version of of a brain or whatever. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
I don't know. I don't look at it in like oh it's you have a problem, sir. It's like dude, I don't have a problem. This is just not the environment for my brain. Like this is just not
The
where I'm really supposed to be.
it there's some really good YouTube channels that talk about ADHD, and even as someone that I've been told countless times I have like severe ADHD by everyone in my life, like I still watch them and I'm like, yeah, you're bullshit. Yeah, you're faking it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bullshit. Like, it's such an ambiguous thing unless you're the one living it. And even ADHD people on TikTok, I'm like, yeah, you don't have real ADHD. Like, I don't trust it. I don't believe it. But then there's moments where I'm listening to those same people and they're describing ADHD, and I'm like, oh, like I feel so validated
Oh
for.
yeah.
It's so
Or
beautiful.
super called out. One or the other.
Well, the big thing with ADHD is like there's a lot of shame because um the world is constantly telling you like you fucked up or you did
Yeah.
something dumb, or like there's so many things that you do that you're punished for. Like I feel like all my relationships ended because of ADHD traits that came across as insensitive, whereas anyone that took the time to actually get to know me would know like you'll never get someone that loves you as much as I do. Like if I commit to you, like I friggin' love you. But my if you see some of my actions as something other than ADHD, I could see how it would be seen
Yes.
as insensitive. Um
I
and yeah,
I
so it's like
concur.
there's a lot of things that come across as really insensitive if you have ADHD. And so you end up depending on like your family dynamic, you know, like I was listening to something the other day and they were saying even if it's just a subtle comment from a family member at the dinner table, that's like half an hour a day, 365 days a year, over 18 years or whatever before you move out. Like it is embedded in your personality, the way your family reacts to your ADHD. And then, you know, I don't really think of people in their 20s as like having like, you know, necessarily being super sensitive to the topic. And yeah, even still it's like I bring it up, I've brought it up with all my family, my extended family, and they're just kind of like they just the topic changes immediately. Like nobody wants to talk about it. It's basically bullshit um to them. And they say, like, I remember once Drew was like said to my mom like, what was Steve like growing up? Like, did you notice like these sort of ADHD traits? And my mom was like, no, like this is like brand new. And it's like, no, it's just that I like as a human, before you finally like accept that you have this issue, which I didn't until I was like about 40, because it was just brought to my attention, you know, enough times, and then got like officially diagnosed and all this stuff by like these like ADHD professionals that I was like on a wait list for like years. Like up until that point, yeah, I was like masking. You're just like constantly hiding who you actually are. And it's the same with autism, and it's in the same sort of spectrum. Um, which is that like people that finally like get diagnosed with autism, all of a sudden people in their life go, "Oh, well, you're all of a sudden you're acting like you're autistic." And it's like, no, now I feel like I'm allowed to just be myself, and I don't
Yeah.
have to mask constantly. Which is a great feeling, because masking it's exhausting.
Yes, it is. I will be the first one to say such things. But I think like from my family, for instance, are like wasn't even on the radar. Kind of, like not in a bad way. Like not like, oh, fuck off. Like that's not real. It was like, yeah, dude, you got it. Whatever. Like cool. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a
Yeah.
problem.
Always
or whatever.
hyper or whatever.
Yeah, it's
or
like, and like you, if mom was on this podcast right now, she was like, he's just a hyper. He's a kid. He was a kid. You're a little hyper
Yeah.
now. Like it's cool. What's the big deal? Like it was never looked at like a negative thing necessarily. It was only when
Yeah.
it like I got into school, you know, those types of things, and it was like now it's a problem. But like anywhere outside of
Yeah.
like an organized thing or whatever, it was never a problem. Like so, I think that's kind of why I just like let the freak flag fly to a certain degree, because most of my life it was
Well,
okay.
because like most of us have parents where any sort of neurodivergency is a flaw, and having any sort of flaw is a negative. It's a strike against you. So like, you know, if you bring it up with your parents, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's like, yeah, it's just, it is what it is. It's like basically like close the book on it. Like don't
Mhm.
talk about it.
Mhm.
And it's like, wait, so the person that you love more than anyone in the world has this thing that makes their life extremely challenging, and is actually like every single drug addict that you see roaming the street, they all have ADHD. Um, like the ADHD left unaddressed and untreated makes you a billion times more prone to, you know, bad decision making, like
Oh
impulsive
yeah.
decisions, and like there's so many things that can go wrong. And even like a family member of mine, like her son is like potentially has ADHD, and she brought it up with me, and I was like, you need to address it. Like, don't let him go through his whole life thinking there's something weird about him,
Yeah.
and then at 40, like, you know, realize, oh, it was just this. It's a simple thing. It's like it's a very common thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like it in my parents' generation, it was kind of like anything that makes you different, or like warrants like talking to your parents about. It's like, hey,
No,
No,
not
we
happening.
don't talk about that
Everything's
here.
good. Everything's fine,
Yeah,
right?
we don't talk about that here.
and if they were open to talking about feelings, they would go, oh, what I'm feeling is actually a very small thing in the grand scheme of things. And in the grand scheme of things, actually like connecting with my child and like comforting them right now and helping them walk through this chapter of, or this like part of their life experience, would actually be a very loving thing. And this is an opportunity to connect with them and show them how much I love them even more. But instead, they get a feeling, and they're not well versed in thinking about feelings and processing and looking internally about their own feelings. So they make a quick decision to like be like, it's nothing, not worth talking about. And you have a divide between you and your child for the rest of your life and their life. And they feel alone for the rest of their life because you just didn't want to think about your feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so simple, but and it doesn't make them bad people. It's just that's their generation.
Yeah. You're making me think a lot about my childhood now and things that the doors got shut on where, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, man.
yeah, it's crazy. Like that was the generation and it was like, nope, everything is fine. Shut the door. Everyone's,
Yeah.
everything's good. Like there's no problems. Like everyone was kind of maybe afraid to admit when there were problems, right? And it maybe saw they didn't feel like they didn't live up to the expectation of everyone else or the standard of a healthy family in whatever case it may have been, right? So it's I think it's good to definitely bring those up and talk, communicate more, right? So
Yeah.
any
Well, if you think of talking and sharing feelings as it's just information. So, like there was a time recently where I was at my parents' house and there was like so much information flying around the kitchen table at dinner. But it wasn't received, like, you know what I mean? None of us were primed to receive each other's information that were in some of them were like in bold statements where it's like, I feel this way and this is a big part of me. And then the other person was like, and then there was also lots of subtleties. And I just remember like visually sort of seeing like a 3D laser scope going around the room at the dinner table. And there was information flying everywhere. And we were all choosing to not absorb it. And it's like, where else in life is information presented to you that would clearly benefit you to like take advantage of that information? Like if you're investing in real estate or in stocks or something and someone's like, just so you know, Microsoft is about to have a downturn, and you're like, nope, I'm going all in on Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like everywhere else in life, we like are so grateful for information. So when someone tells us something about their emotional makeup, or who they are as a person, and you're just like, no, like why would you turn down information? Like all information, if you're not afraid to process it, which sometimes is a hard pill to swallow, then you're better off for having that information. But I think the post World War II era was all about like not making your life harder and making it better. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I know.
And maybe
where-
they just weren't
yeah.
weren't equipped to deal with such a thing, and maybe medicine wasn't where it should have been, and we've come a long way for the better. I feel like so.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of it too is that old, like you had two wars basically right on top of each other.
Yeah.
These dudes came back. I mean, number one, doing it was nuts to start with. Like I can't even
Totally.
fathom what that looked like. Then
We should address like the context makes sense. They're not bad people.
No, not a bit.
No,
It's
no.
just like this is the hand they've been given, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean. And like, and previous to that, you got the Great Depression, you got a war, you get a little break, you get a war, and everybody's got to go. It's not even like it is now. You know what I mean? You do have the choice to partake or not to a certain degree. Like you didn't have a choice, so you just did what you had to do. You went and did the thing. Then you came back, and nobody talked about it because everybody who was on their side of the coin seem to have understood what you've done, and they were like, we don't want anybody to know what you've done. And they just drag that mentality along, like everything's
Yep.
I'm fine, everything's fine, nothing bad happens because I've done these bad things, I'm not a bad person. Like it's the guilt almost got dragged with it too. So I don't know, I think that's a lot of it is that they felt
Yes.
there was a portion of people that felt so bad about the things that they did that rather than just talk about it, it was either just shove it aside. And that's how our parents were taught. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I see it.
It even like in the genocide in Rwanda in the 90s, they basically, their conclusion was when the conflict ended, they're like, we can't put half of Africa in jail or in prisons for war crimes. So we're just going to go, okay, everything's forgiven essentially, and we just got to move on, and we're not going to engage, in this like internal division within the country. And people were forgiven for war crimes, but you could be living next door to someone that murdered your wife and children. You know what I mean? You didn't
Yeah.
know. And it was at a certain point, it was kind of all forgiven because like the people that were committing like these like atrocious war crimes, they were also like victims of brainwashing and like programming by like these outside forces that were trying to create division from within. It's the same with MAGA. It's like I guarantee like most people that are in the MAGA cult, if you hang out with them one-on-one and you don't talk politics, you're like, oh, this is probably most of them are good people.
It's like any different any sort of certain group of people. I'm sure if you could single out almost anybody, I mean, of course, there's going to be a lot of bad people as well. But I mean, anyone you can kind of relate to face to face and get together on a face to face level. I'm sure most people you'd probably say, hey, these people aren't so bad or whatever. But yeah, you'd bring up certain topics
Totally.
and then you kind of feel like it's like, whoa, it's like,
Oh yeah, it happens
Well,
in my
like-
day-to-day life even.
What's that? Sorry, Sam?
Like even that kind of happens in your day-to-day life, right? You run into people, conversation's good, starts in a good fashion, and then maybe a topic is brought up and now it's gone sideways. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
generally speaking, most people are trying to do good and trying to be good. Like that's just generally how it works. Like not everybody's an asshole based on a belief system, but because they're in this tribal thing now everybody plays on the next thing. And
Well,
We're
and that's
growing.
why I feel like if we were in a society that respected sort of self-reflection and like sort of dissecting emotions and stuff more, we would go, oh, okay, so there's people that are super busy and they're not connected to politics and they're focused on their family and work and like trying to just survive in a crazy time when the middle class has been almost eliminated at this point. And so they're not obsessed with politics, and all the news that they're hearing peripherally is all been bought and paid for by people with these interests. So they vote for Trump,
Yeah.
But then there's people that are super wealthy and are super privileged, and they have devoted all their time and effort to this like dark pursuit where they advance based on other people, dying from lack of SNAP benefits or dying from lack of healthcare or whatever. And they're actually putting a lot of conscious thought into like essentially evil deeds. And like that's why it's like there is a difference between a Trump voter and Stephen Miller, and so, but yeah, like so we're sort of like the same way. Like the Rwanda genocide happened because another country, in their case it was I think it was France, that was like really trying to, since the 50s, like divide the country, because divide and conquer is like it's a thing, and they successfully did it. They divided the country so that they could take over. In the states, I think I guess it's Russia. The lines are kind of blurry. Like is Elon Musk? He's South African, but he's American. Peter Thiel, he's like he's gay, but he's like pro homophobia, Christian nationalism. Like it's sort of like they're using categories to segregate people, but they themselves are, from some of them, like, Kash Patel isn't white, but he's like fighting for like white nationalism, and and Peter Thiel is like homophobic, but he's gay, and like
Peter Thiel's
Elon Musk is South African, and Trump is like married to a woman that was illegally living in, like, I don't think she actually did immigration properly, Melania, and
I don't think
and
so.
like like there's so much hypocrisy, but they're using sort of like these cultural tropes to divide people. Anyway, so great chatting.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, divide and conquer is how people tend to go and try to get stuff done. Unfortunately, it's just got to recognize what's going on, open your eyes, and kind of
Use
like
your
I said,
freaking brain.
take all the information in and hopefully make the best decision with that. But you never know what information you're getting. So that's the thing. You gotta
just be a sweet buddy to everyone you run into, and
That's right.
and yeah,
but
that's all there is to it.
but also like I'm sure we've probably said before too, like we're not built to have all this information, coming in from every direction. What we should be focusing on is what's in front of us, and that's our own homes and our friends and
Yeah,
our colleagues
100.
and stuff like that. So, I mean, that would be a good start for sure.
I totally agree. Like, I do think there is a silver lining, which is there exists a world that might present itself at a certain point, whether it's out of necessity or out of rebellion to the current state of things, where it becomes a lot more localized.
I feel that. I
It's
think
just
that's a thing. I think
the
that's
block
gonna be
you
a
live
thing.
on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's on the way. I'm a believer in that. I think that it's the same thing. I think we're at the cusp of, like, to a certain degree, like all this overproduced music will kind of flip flop to the other angle. It's like I was watching a podcast. The guy said it perfectly. We're at the cusp of hair metal when Nirvana broke, kind of thing. Like we're close.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
close to that realm. We're getting there. We've been oversaturated by overproduced craziness. Something's gonna
Yes.
break out between in there. I think. I think we're on this. We're climbing. We're almost at the top of the mountain, kind of thing. Like we're about to fall off the cliff and go backwards a little bit. I think we're close.
Yes, I 100% agree, and I analyze everything in terms of the transitional stage, not just in my own life, but in culturally and in music and in film and in everything. Like, at all points in your life, you're at a certain stage in an arc, where you're on the challenging part of a transition to a new chapter, or you're kind of on like the easy slide where
Yeah.
it's like I put in all this work and now I'm kind of coasting for a bit and it's glorious. And I do feel like, yeah, this shit is about to hit the fan, and I feel like everybody knows it. But we're so entrenched in it, and I think the AI thing, why it's so worrying, is because you can't connect all the plot points. Like even AI developers, they don't understand why AI is the way it is and why it thinks the way it thinks. Like they've lost touch. They're just like, yeah, it's on its own tip now, dude.
Yeah.
Like we're actually, and that's why like the people that know the most about it are the most freaked out. you know?
Yeah.
And I think as a society, we're kind of the same way. We're like, okay, we know that Donald Trump got elected because of this and like Russia, and this person was like gamifying social media, and like Joe Rogan, and like there's so many like things to process to make sense of why arguably like the devil is the most powerful person in the world. But it's so fucking confusing, and we're not capable. I think of myself as someone that's very curious about American politics and the state of the world and the state of technology and the arc of humanity, and I'm fucking confused.
I would agree. Because that's how I feel. Like I really am interested in it all, but in the same way, I don't know what's really next. I guess is most of it. Like it's not so much like I can see what's in front of me, but I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going. Like for a first time in a really long time, I can't
Yes.
anticipate it in any way. I just don't know. Like I don't know.
Well, and that's why I've kind of taken, to go back to your comment of like I don't even know if I trust anything kind of thing. The side of that I do relate to is anytime I see clickbait that is speculative at all, like the reason why this may be the end of Trump, I'm like, okay, nope, not. I don't want to hear. It's like nuclear fusion. It's like why nuclear fusion is right around the corner. It's like, okay, you've been saying that for like 100 years.
Yeah.
Tell me when it's here, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, show me it. Just show me it. At the
I'm
end of the day.
tired of speculation because like so many people are ignorant at the end of the day, and as am I, and I don't want to give up my valuable time to someone else who's just as ignorant, but they stand to benefit from views. You know,
I think that could be the tipping point, unless like everyone kind of collectively and consciously make that decision that this is garbage and this is fake clickbaity stuff, and if we can all kind of come together, somebody's falling for that stuff, somebody's watching it, somebody's believing that and sharing it to their friend as if it's absolute truth. And I think until everyone kind of comes together and sees the bullshit and doesn't buy into it anymore, like it's gonna get worse until it gets better, because AI is just at the beginning, and it's gonna blur the line so far that people won't want to believe anything they see. But it's a slippery slope, and it's weird. But I think everyone's got to come together and realize, like, hey,
I feel like there's signs that that's happening, like the proliferation of like Channel 5 News on YouTube, and like and certain things, like even like how there's just certain signs that even like the New York mayoral race, like, and all like the Democrat victories and stuff was so like bizarrely disproportionate to what people expected. I do feel like people are kind of waking up to the difference between bullshit and reality more and more, because it's actually affecting enough people now. Enough people like are going broke, and necessity is the mother of invention, and I think like we need to reinvent how information is distributed, because the evil powers have seen the benefits. It's like Steve Bannon, like he said I think it was like in 2016 or like years ago, he said, like, we're not worried about the Democrats, we're worried about like the enemy is the media.
Yeah.
Like, that if we can conquer the media, and they have been successfully conquering the media and are just dominating it. You know what I mean? Even my Facebook and YouTube algorithm, I've noticed, like, I've been getting a lot of stuff where I'll click on it, and I'm like, I'll be reading like an article, and it's like, well, that seems weird. Oh, that seems weird. And then I realized, oh fuck, this is like Republican like freaking bullshit. Like, and I'm more and more, it's being like shuffled into my algorithm. And although I applaud like diversifying and not always living in your own algorithmic bubble, like Republicans own the internet right now.
That is true.
Part.
I gotta take a quick pee break. I'll be right back. I don't know. Award shows are overrated. I'm just saying.
So you've been through the whole putting yourself in there before. When was?
Yeah. I've been nominated 4 times. Twice with Hot at Heat, and once as producer of the year, and once for engineer of the year. And it's awesome when you get nominated, because you get to go there, and it kind of like highlights that you are not a bum, and you're active and whatnot. And it makes like your parents think you're not a loser.
So what?
For a split second.
What was it that you produced that got nominated?
I forget what it was. Maybe like Said the Whale, or I forget because you have to submit kind of a couple songs or a few songs that you did that year. But yeah, either way, it was cool, and it was the part that I was stoked about was doing the like Q&A panel, with like other people that were like geeked about audio and stuff like that, and they were asking about like, oh, like, you know, I'm a student for life. Like I look at everyone, I just assume everyone knows more than me. So a lot of my days are filled with YouTube tutorials, and just I'm a sponge for trying to figure out every life hack and audio hack there is. And so to be on like a Junos panel where there's a Q&A and like people are asking me like my opinion of a plugin or something, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I could get used to this.
So
but yeah, I'm too ADHD, I think, to apply, and yeah.
So what was that experience, and how'd you get into collaborating and working with like Steve Aoki and Diplo? Like, how did that come about?
That one was weird. Steve Aoki, I knew through the punk scene because before he was a DJ, he was, the way you would book a tour back in the day before the internet was, there was this magazine called Heart Attack, and all like the coolest hardcore bands and stuff would send their demos or their albums or whatever, usually by cassette, to Heart Attack, and they would Heart Attack would review it, and the bands that wanted to go on tour would look in Heart Attack, and people that were doing punk shows, even if it was like in the basement of their house, would post in Heart Attack, and it was 25 cents to get the magazine. And it's like every time you went to a punk show, like you would be like, oh, the new Heart Attack is out, and it would just be like reviews of like these obscure esoteric bands. And like we were obsessed with a lot of the punk bands from San Diego at the time. Anyway, at some point I had like an overlap with Steve Aoki through the punk scene in like the 2000s. I don't even remember it all. And then at one point I moved to LA for a bit because I was asked to do A&R for Warner, which I was considering, but I never did. And then because I was like, A&R seems like bullshit. And then, but they asked me to do some production stuff. So I was living there and doing production, and ended up hanging out with Steve Aoki because he ran this label, Dim Mak. And I just remember like cruising around like LA with him in his Prius. And at the time it was like crazy that he had a Prius. Like, whoa, like a Prius was a big deal for a minute, which is so crazy. And he's like, I just got new Dim Mak merch printed. Like, can you like wear it and like model it for like the website? It's like, okay, sure. And like we would just like trip around town and do random shit together. And then he was like DJing in Vancouver, and he would be playing like these small like clubs in Vancouver and stuff, and I would go hang out with him, and he'd come back to my apartment, and we would just bring a bunch of people and just like party at my apartment. And then one day along that timeline, he just became this massive DJ. And I'd given him like vocal stuff in the past. Like I remember I was like in a hotel once, and I downloaded, the first time I got a copy of Logic, which I still use to this day, I downloaded a pirated version of it because I was in this hotel, and he was like, can you record a top line over this record I'm putting out? And I was just like, didn't think anything of it. So got a crack of Logic, and I was producing this band for Warner, and then after the band left, I just asked the engineer, who was this guy Rob Brill, who did the Third Strokes record, at which I loved the sound of that record. So I was working with him, co-writing with this band called J Davy that never came to be because she got pregnant, and then the label dropped her and stuff, blah blah blah. But I assembled Snoop Dogg's bass player, the Strokes engineer, and the drummer of this band from called the Willows, and I was obsessed with him on drums. And then I was like co-writing it all and stuff with him. And then everyone left, and I was like, really quick, can I just record this vocal? And then went back to my hotel, chopped it up in like a cracked version of Logic. I had no idea what I was doing. And he put that song out. And then years later, after like I assumed I wouldn't hear from him because he was like crazy famous, he just called me and was like, hey, I'm with like Dioro here. Can we fly you out tomorrow to do a top line on this song? And then I was like, yes, I'd be crazy to say no, but I'm also lazy and I have a studio. Can you just send me the track and I'll just like freestyle over it and maybe it works for you? And then he's like, okay, yeah, sure. Even though like it would be sweet to like go to LA, but I also like hate LA. So and then I had a Mountie session the next day. But it was kind of casual, like we were kind of going in and out, and I was like, oh, I have to do this stupid vocal. It really was like half checked out, and I wasn't inspired. So I went, there was like this small overpriced liquor store like a block from the studio at the time, and I went and got a bottle of Wine O'Clock, and I listened to the instrumental he sent me in my car and just pounded the entire bottle by myself. I mean, like, yeah, I'm a lot more tame now, but at the time that was like a pretty mellow sort of like B12 shot of like inspiration. And then I intentionally recorded it kind of distorted and overcompressed, just because in the past I've done vocals for people and like they don't mix it pro and it just sounds like crap, and I'm like embarrassed and I don't want them to use it. So I was like, I'm gonna give him a vocal engineered the way I would do a vocal. So I sent him just like 12 minutes of me freestyling over this dance track that he sent me. And then they're like, he was just like, amazing. And like Diplo was like, this is perfect. And then it ended up being like the first single that Diplo released for his solo record, and then the first single that Steve Aoki released for his record. And they both promoted it completely separate. And yeah, for years it was like I would get tagged in videos of like these like massive DJ festivals and stuff with like, you know, tens of thousands, or I don't know how many people, like huge crowds it seemed like. And I would just be tagged in it because my name is technically on that song, and it's just a chopped up freestyle like on a bottle of Wine O'Clock that I just like did willy-nilly. Like the only instructions he gave me was like, we want to call the song Freak. So I was like, I think you're freaking. I think you're freaking. I think you're freaking out the way you move it. So I'm like, I don't even remember it. And I was kind of channeling this punk band from San Diego, actually, called Moving Units, that we toured with a bunch. And they were channeling the Rapture, who were from San Diego. And I think the Rapture was channeling the Locust from San Diego. And it was a lot of channeling, and I think somewhere in there was a lot of like Gang of Four. But yeah, I just kind of phoned it in and sent it off, and then to this day it's like probably like the biggest, like most amount of spins and views of anything I've done, and it was in like movies and stuff like that. And
Oh wow.
yeah, it was really trippy. And yeah, and I think I went to a Diplo show once, and I met him afterwards, and he was like, oh dude, why don't you just come on stage and sing it? I'm like, I'm not just gonna like jump on stage. I've like never met you and just like grab the mic like security would take me down. He's like, well, I'm also doing like a show at the Commodore tonight. Like, come on stage. So I hopped on stage for that. And then
That's cool.
I remember because I was married once before, and I remember like one of the turning points where I went, okay, maybe I'm not with my life partner, was when I asked her to come to this. It was like an arena show Steve Aoki was doing, and it was like thousands of people. It was on New Year's Eve, and he wanted me to get on stage and like and sing with them, and then which ended up turning into like me singing a bunch of other stuff after the song too. And I was just freestyling, like I don't know, like in the only person other than him behind decks, like just I showed up early to do sound check and stuff, and he was just like, yeah, just do whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess this is how DJs roll. Like in the music world, we rehearse.
Yeah.
But
We do sound check.
anyway, so I asked my wife at the time, like, do you want to come? And she's like, nah. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So it's like New Year's Eve, and I'm like the only singer on stage for like multiple songs for thousands of people at this random arena. And she's like, nah, I'm just gonna go party with pals. And I was like, that was one of like a billion signs that maybe things were winding down. But anyway,
That's a big song.
I've said too much.
That's great. I love the story about that. Yeah,
It's a good story. I like it.
What movies was that song in? Do you remember, or what was that?
There
like
was,
hearing that, like,
well, in 22 Jump Street.
oh wow,
There's like a scene where
I love that.
there's like this girl is in a college dorm and she's like beating up another girl with like a huge dildo. And like that's the moment when the dildo is like smacking on this girl's face.
Yeah, that's freaky, all right.
That's when you can like hear me like singing like, I think you're freaky.
Yeah, that's definitely suits that scene for sure.
No, it's cool. Like when you do something like that, because I take so much pride in everything I work on, and so everything seems the same level of importance, or like I figure out how to like hack my brain so that everything feels equally important in the moment. And then years later, when I think about it, it's like, oh, that was kind of like dipping my toes into like a little Hollywood moment, you know. And it's cool in the context like this podcast to be like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's I
Pretty
would think
cool.
so. Yeah,
I
that's
think it's pretty cool.
freaking awesome. I'm sure
the
the residuals are probably pretty decent about
Mm.
Hollywood style. Or
They were cool. They were like, even though I didn't contribute musically, I was like cut in as like an equal partner, which is rad because they
That's
don't
sick.
a lot of people are like shady, like if
Mhm.
they're kind of the draw, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure Diplo could have justified being like, hey man, I'll pay you an exposure, you know, but yeah, no, they cut me in as an equal partner, and I was like, sweet. And it's like Huxley calls the music business a pennies game because it's like you get pennies if you actually like get your shit together enough to, you know, fill out the paperwork, you get pennies like over the years and years and years. And like my problem is I'm bad with the paperwork. Like I co-wrote with Charlie this Hotel Mira song that's like their biggest song, Dancing with the Moonlight it's called, and I wanted to call it Ted Dancing with the Moonlight.
Yeah.
And
perfect.
but they didn't just call it Dance with Moonlight. But yeah, and it's done really well. And I know there's emails in my inbox that are saying like, oh, you got to fill this paperwork out to like get your royalties. And like every day there's a second in the day where I'm like, oh yeah, I got to fill that out. Yeah, so I think I got to get my shit together with a manager or something at some point, because I used to have a manager, and then I went DIY, and then now I'm realizing like I'm maybe not a candidate to be fully DIY. I don't know.
Somebody to do your paperwork is always handy, man. I'm not gonna lie. So if you had just a person to do that much, just make sure your emails are good and paperwork signed. That's the guy.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
Emails and paperwork are my two worst things. I tried to let my accountant go recently, and she was just like, let's be honest, like, because I do, like, in most areas of my life I love to be DIY, you know, and I'm like motivated by like saving a few bucks, but also like I feel like there isn't anything that I can't do better than someone else, because I'm doing it for myself, you know. And so I was like, I'm gonna let my like longtime sort of business manager accountant go. She was like, I gotta be honest with you, like you're not gonna get your shit together enough to do your accounting. And oh my god, was she ever right?
Yeah, no, because I mean that's not what you get up for in the morning, right? So like, it's kind of hard to be bothered by mundane.
You have to know your limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, your
Know
camera,
your
Your camera
limits.
cut out again.
Oh, I cut out.
We got dead video. Still hear you
Is it
perfect.
Audio is great, but
Is it working? Smoking.
video is just paused or something. Or
Oh no.
blurred,
yeah.
completely.
But you can
blurred.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Actually.
Oh shoot. You know what? I think my phone just died. Well, you know what? We've had a great chat. Maybe this is
Yeah, I think it's been
You're-
3.5 hours.
We're almost 4 hours in.
oh my god, dude, I'm sorry.
No, dude,
No, I
it's
love
totally best con. This is wicked. To be fair, I mean, if you just leave me alone, I'll just sit here talking to you the whole day.
Oh
To be
man,
perfectly
Good
it,
honest.
it is
Definitely
it-
good hangs.
Yeah.
Good hangs.
I don't
Sure.
get to chat with anyone really the way I chat with you guys, so I appreciate it.
Oh no, man, this is what it's all about. This is the beauty of doing a podcast, is you get
Yeah.
to chat with Steve Bass.
What was
There you are.
Hey.
You're back again. Something's good.
Procam.
Oh, Procam's
Oh,
on.
Procam. See, this is what it could have looked like this whole time. Frig, that
Yeah.
does look slick.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Um,
aperture setting.
well, I gotta figure this out. This is further than I've gotten with any setup. I've never used the Pro mic and I've never used the Pro Cam, so I just gotta figure out the battery power issue. What was one of your guys' episodes recently that I should check out?
Well, we took a huge break over the summer, so you're fourth episode in so far. Last week's was really
Nice.
good. Avalon Stone, like a new artist, not new artist,
Okay,
but
nice.
like just got signed, that kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a good pod actually.
Okay, sweet.
And then we did Alan
Like-
Cross. Alan Cross was before that, so I mean Alan Cross is Alan Cross.
Oh man, I'm obsessed with Alan
yeah,
Cross.
that was
always
good,
have been.
definitely a good one to check.
That was a
out,
gooder,
for
yeah.
sure.
That's crazy. How did that come to be? Because he's kind of behind a walled garden, I would assume.
Not really though. Like,
How long did it take?
so I emailed him.
Yeah.
I don't know when last year, sometime last year, and at the time he was doing that. It wasn't like a book tour, but it was like that speaking tour thing he was
Yeah.
doing. It was it was based on his not his pocket, but his show, like the history of new music. But it was
Yeah.
almost like a Q&A thing too. It was pretty cool actually. Like it was like the big one he did in Toronto looked really cool. Like that seemed like that would have been really fun. But when we messaged him, he was like, "Oh, I'm busy doing this. I don't really have time." Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, "Cool, man. No worries. We'll hit you up later." And then I did, and he was like, "Hell yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. We'll arrange it. What days do you have?" And we set it up, and he was like, "Yeah, no problem. Be there." And he was like very professional. Like it was very professional.
It's interesting because I feel like people that are kind of in like punk rock mentality, DIY world, casual vibes, like I feel like I'm in that world, you're in that world, like a lot of the people that you podcast with are probably in that world. And then there's people that like present as fully professional, and like shirts tucked in energy. And like guys like us, gals like us, we also love that energy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It was very
And-
like
Yeah.
counter to us in a way.
I feel like David Bottrell was very, very professional, and then like
yes,
like,
like
as
yes
much
and
as
no.
as much as like say a George Stroumboulopoulos is professional, he's very DIY as well. So like
Yeah.
that was a good dynamic too. I don't know. We've
Yeah.
had a lot of great people to talk to and stuff like that. But then there's also just the pods of us too. So I mean,
Yeah, it's
feel free
interesting.
to throw those on in the background.
The ones with us are a little unhinged most of the time, but it's kind of the fun
No,
of it.
but
Like that's the fun of it.
I do like those. I feel like the podcast that I've listened to the most in my podcast listening years was Stop Podcasting Yourself, Graham Clark and Dave Shumka from Vancouver. And I soaked up every single one of their podcasts for years. And then as you become a fan of podcasters, you actually end up craving just the two of them, like almost more than their guests, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different dynamic for sure. And,
Oh, yeah.
and some
Yeah.
people do like those, but people love, I guess, all aspects of it. I guess if you get too one dimensional, I guess it's kind of a bad thing. So
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, what I like, and also as a fan of, when am a fan of a podcast, I like when the guests clearly respect the podcast that they're on. You know what I mean? Like you can tell when a guest is like, oh, this is like a lower tier of my podcast circuit. It's like, well, then get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah.
like I only want you
that's
in
what I
my
appreciate
ears
about
if you respect these dudes, you know what I
feel
mean?
like
Or gals or whatever.
I feel like
whatever
you
the
definitely
podcast
show
is.
us that respect, and we do appreciate that for sure.
Well, I mean, it's a huge undertaking to be consistent at anything, you know. Like even with my gal Drew, like she's talked about doing vlogging because she's just so funny behind the scenes, but it's very dry and like nobody realizes it except for the people that spend time with her. And then she's like almost done a vlog for years and years, and then finally she did a couple. But like life is crazy. It's like it's hard to, and the ones that she did, like I was like, oh my god, and she was so happy when she was working on them. Like I've never seen her so creatively satisfied, and like everyone that is in her life was like loved her vlogs, and so there's nothing stopping her from doing more in terms of motivation. But it's just really hard to consistently devote time to any one thing,
Oh,
no
yeah.
matter how rewarding it is, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that's a testament to your guys's I don't know what the word is, joie de vie.
I like that.
Hey,
I'll take that one. Schwa the V. I like it.
very sophisticated.
But it does take some freaking serious gumption to do it every week, because there's times I don't want to be at it. I'll be the first one to
Yeah.
say. There's time, even when I'm looking, like we booked a cool guest and whatever. Like I'm just like, dude, this was a shit day. I don't want to do this. But when I don't know, there's something about sitting in the room.
Yeah, I have.
When-
I
you know
felt
what I
that
mean?
too. Yeah,
Like
until
when you get here,
Yeah.
it's
until you
different.
get here and sit behind a microphone, then it's like something that just sparks again, right? It's like when you're home and you're busy, or if you're at work and you had a shit day at work, it's like, oh, the last thing I want to do is have to go do this. But then once you're in the environment, it kind of just sparks that creativity and sparks that kind of eagerness to do it again, all over again.
It's like a remotivation every week.
Now, okay, so like as I applaud like you guys getting together, like, and like Ryan, you're driving and like you guys have to tee up and then you have to like confirm, like you confirmed with me multiple times, which I really applaud because I'm so bad with like calendars and scheduling and timing. And it's like, now picture if there was also two other guys
Yeah.
and a sound guy, maybe a merch guy, and you were doing it on the road. And you had musicians' personalities.
Yes.
Like
The odds are stacked against
being
you.
in like getting your act together enough to be in a touring band is like, in 2025, it's almost becoming like bizarrely ridiculous to tour, like just with the costs of life.
Oh yeah.
Like to like think about how much out of pocket cash you guys have spent in terms of like lost wages and like, you know, like to do this podcast, like it's probably cost you guys like thousands and thousands. Now picture
a
like
couple bucks, but
yeah. Now picture like doing it on the road with two other people. Probably one or two of them have like some sort of substance abuse issue. And then you have like crew members and there's hotels and ticket sales, and it's just like, yeah, I don't understand how the world works. I don't understand how anyone can afford a car and gas and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't get it either. Like, I don't know. 'Cause people always compare everything to like the friggin' Taylor Swift show kind of thing, but it's like, dude, this is like a bajillion-dollar operation. Yeah, it's like, oh, she's grossed however many billions of dollars. But it's like, dude, you understand the cost of what that looks like?
yeah.
Like, do you even
Oh
like just
yeah.
the movement? You haven't done anything but move the stuff around.
Yeah.
And just picture that cost. Now you got to put it all up and take it back down. You got to feed people. Like, this is nuts.
It's crazy.
Like, there's nobody
Yeah.
making $1 billion from this. Like, it looks like that, but there's nobody making $1 billion.
No way. Yeah. There's talent, and then there's organization, and having organization skills on a touring band's level, let alone a world class operation like that. It's like the talent part. Like, people want to like debate her talent or songs or whatever. It's like, you don't understand. Talent is 0.1% of it. It is somehow this organization has assembled and pieced together all these components in a timely manner. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're applauding
Yeah.
for. Like, anyone could be the Taylor Swift songwriter, singer, performer. Like, maybe not anyone, but there's like a lot of people
Yeah.
that could fill that slot. But she somehow coerced all these people to be organized and consistent, and for it to be rewarding for them, so
Yeah. Touring and stuff is a whole thing. Like, I did a couple of small tours early 2000s. It was super fun, but I mean, it's a bunch of stinky dudes in a van and everybody wants to argue about everything, and it turns into a shit show generally most of the time. Like, you're only getting
Yeah.
along for the length of time you're on stage for certain points of this whole excursion. I don't know. It's super fun.
It is
super fun.
but
But
you
holy
really
shit.
hope that your bandmates are respectful.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about. It's like everything. It's all about the hang kind of thing. Like, oh god,
Yeah.
it's a thing, and I can't imagine how it's stacked against you, even still with the cost and the like. Can't even fathom it. I can't even fathom it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
especially
kinda like
starting up now, I can't even imagine doing that.
the whole thing with like when streaming really took off, and it was like, oh, okay, so bands don't make money from record sales, and everyone was saying, yeah, but they make their money on the road. Everyone I knew, and now it's like a common fact, is like, you like going on the road like costs you money. Like, that's how you would justify the insane loss of money from being on the road because you were promoting your album. And then it's like, oh, but the album is free as well. And it's like, so, and then it became like about selling merch, and that is a thing. That's for sure a thing. I think if you buy merch from anything that you like, that's like actual profit to the artist, most of the time, which is nice. But I also, like, again, to go back to like my point about like organization being like the predominant great trait to have if you're going to be an artist. I hate sorting out merch. I hate counting it. I hate making sure I have it. Like, I did a couple shows this year, and I got like, I'd made so many t-shirt designs because that was the creative part. But then in the end, like, organizationally and financially, it only made sense to do one. So I did one, and then it was like at the last second I had to pay to have it like rushed because I couldn't like sort it out in time. And then and yeah, long story short, I'm sitting on a stack of Steve Baez shirts.
I think we need a couple of those, Sam.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They're cool shirts.
Yeah,
They're
hell
cool. I
yeah.
made them myself.
yeah.
Design wise.
Nice.
We'll take
Anyway,
take a couple larges.
it is friggin' $12.20 for me, $120 for you.
Uh-huh.
It is
See? Pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my friend, thank you so much.
Thank you, man. It has
It's been an absolute
awesome.
pleasure.
Pleasure.
Got them pressures.
No, you guys are
God damn.
awesome, and thanks for giving me an excuse to blab, and you know what? Thank you to anyone that's watching the podcast and supporting And the Year Was. I think you guys deserve massive gratitude for being podcast supporters.
We appreciate it.
Awesome.
We thank you.
What a good note to leave on there.
I know. We'll stop it right there. Stop it right there.
Okay, now
right.
let's talk about how
All right.
Epstein.
All right, it's off.
Epstein
Now
was
let's go.
chill.
Epstein Island.
Eagle has landed.